Hi there, it's Faris from Sheer Ghetto Consulting here, and it's time for another of my weekly vlogs. Apologies this week if I sound a bit sniffly, but it's that time of year and there's plenty of colds in the air. At least I hope it's cold and nothing more serious than that. Anyway, what are we going to talk about this week in the world of Sheer Ghetto and all things to do with effectiveness? Well, this week I'd like to touch upon something that's small, immensely powerful, and really effective. Here's a clue. No, not the phone. I'm talking about the phone call. Even in an age of where we're awash with emails, I mean I get hundreds every day, the impact a phone call can have and the effectiveness it can impart is massive. And I've been reminded of that this week by a couple of incidents. Let's talk to you about those incidents. Let's bring this to life. So, as ever, there are three. You know how I love my power of three examples. And the first example comes from business, comes from Sheer Ghetto. And it comes from us trying to deal with a misunderstanding with one of our clients. And in trying to resolve this misunderstanding, I have sent the client numerous text messages, numerous WhatsApps, but for one reason or another, most were either ignored or I got a blanket response back saying, look, too busy to deal with this at the moment, we'll be in touch. Now, not one to be deterred, I decided the best thing for it was a phone call. So early one morning I picked up the phone, gave him a ring, and literally within 10 seconds we'd resolved the misunderstanding. But not only that, it then really reinforced our relationship and improved things. We were able to talk about a range of other topics that we hadn't been discussing through the text, and it put us on a really good footing for a positive relationship going forward. So a big win for the phone call. Now, the second example comes from Sheer Ghetto. In fact, comes from Sheer Ghetto Towers, because we've reached a point where we're renegotiating the lease on Sheer Ghetto Towers. And for a large period, the renegotiation was conducted by email. So emails back and forth between myself and the estate agents, each of our side setting out what they wanted. Now, this was a very long, drawn-out process, and we weren't getting very far. So, what did I decide to do? Yep, you're right. I grabbed the phone and I rang the estate agent, the lettings manager. And after a good conversation, we're both able to articulate our point of view, much more than the emails, and we were able to come up with a solution that was better than both the what was proposed in both sets of our emails. So another win for the phone call, the impact of a phone call, and the effectiveness of a phone call. What's the third example? Well, that comes from my personal life. Again, I'm keeping to a formula here. And so earlier this week, I rang my sister and asked to speak to my two nephews, but was a bit amazed when she said that they didn't want to speak to me. Now, rest assured, it's got nothing to do with me being a bad uncle. It's more to do with the fact that they're not phone people. She said, look, they just don't like talking on the phone. So if you have anything you want to say to them, either save it for next time you see them, well, when's that going to be? Or relay it through her. Well, then that loses the impact and the heartfulness that I was going for. So not being able to speak on the phone really robbed me of some effectiveness, but it also made me worry about whether this was a skill that was dying. Now, I get it. I don't like to speak on the phone when I was a teenager, but I do know a lot of people nowadays that just don't like the phone. So what can I say? It's a great skill to have. It's very impactful. It's very effective. So maybe we should all practice it a little bit more. Right, does that mean no more emails, no more texts? Am I, putting the death knell to those things? No, of course I'm not. There's obviously a lot more to this, and phone calls and the power of phone calls. So you want to find out a bit more, then please read my blog that I will write and will be in the link below. Enjoy that. Hopefully you start using a few more phone calls. Hopefully you start practicing being on the phone. And if you need somebody to practice with, then please give me a ring. I'd love to talk to each and every one of you. If not, then I'll see you at the next vlog. Have a great week.